Enjoy the convenience of 7 days a week banking and extended hours with Cube from First Arkansas Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. It's time for From the Short Grass with Trey Schaap, a golf podcast for those who love golf, struggle with golf, and just like to enjoy the outdoors and fellowship with friends, all while chasing a ball around trying to put it in a 4 1/4 inch diameter hole. From the Short Grass is brought to you by Blackman Auctions. For over 80 years, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions. By MinnowsPlus.com. From baits to waders, if it helps you catch a fish, they have it. And now, from the Short Grass, here is your host, Trey Schaap.
Welcome to another edition of From the Short Grass. I am your host, Trey Schaap. Abraham Ancer wins on the second playoff hole over Sam Burns and Hideki Matsuyama at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational over at TPC Southwind in Memphis. After all three made par on number 18, the first playoff hole, Ancer made birdie the next time to earn his first win on the PGA Tour. Harris English, who opened with a 62 and led after all three rounds, shot 73 on Sunday to finish one spot out of the playoff and in fourth place. Locally, the Arkansas State Golf Association held the State Amateur at Pleasant Valley Country Club in Little Rock. Luke Long of Fayetteville won, coming from behind, shooting a 5-under 67 on Saturday. He finished one shot ahead of Caleb Miller of Cabot, who went into the final round with the lead. It was the second time that Long has won the State Am. He also won in 2018 at Texarkana Country Club. MinnowsPlus.com. Minnows Plus is the one-stop shop for all fishermen. And yes, I know this is a golf podcast, but hey, golfers like to fish too. Sometimes they're fishing for their balls in the water. I've done that plenty of times. But hey, Minnows Plus, they have the full lineup of hooked coolers. You can get the 25 quart, the 35 quart, the 50 quart, all the way up to the 75 quart hooked coolers. Go to MinnowsPlus.com for more information. We're back after this break with part 2 of our sit-down with Gus Malzahn, the head coach of the Central Florida Knights.
This is Thomas Blackman with Blackman Auctions. Me sponsoring a golf show is great irony. I've been a phenomenally bad golfer for 30 years. I don't know the difference between a penalty area and a bunker. I like it, but I'm really bad. You listen to this show and to Trey because he's a great golfer and knows the game backwards and forwards. I know auctions like Trey knows golf. I've been a professional auctioneer for 30 years. I know auctions. Trey knows golf. Listen to the correct expert. Call me to learn about auctions, not Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from Better Bait and Finer Shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at MinnowsPlus.com.
Now on the tee, Gus Malzahn with part 2 of our sit-down conversation in Orlando, Florida.
David Basil a couple of weeks ago had a former player on of yours that had 5 head coaches in his time at Arkansas State.
Yeah.
And he tells a story about you not recognizing some people and you're trying to get them kicked out of practice and everything. What happened there?
Yeah, well, and I actually, heard that clip on Basil's show, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I called Dave. I said, here's the sad thing about it. All 3 of those stories are true. But you gotta set it up, okay? Before I took the job, I was a coordinator at Auburn, and, that Iron Bowl's a pretty important deal, and, there's a lot of things that we'd have to do, when the week of the Iron Bowl, before we left the office, we'd turn the computers off, we'd take everything with us, and so I'm pretty paranoid, put that way. So when we got to Jonesboro, I carried that with me, all right? But it was a lot of fun. I mean, that year in Jonesboro was really, really neat for me. I inherited some really good players. We won our conference, and, of course, the last game, it was just an unbelievable atmosphere, and it was a super experience for me there.
But wasn't that spring practice?
Yeah, it was the first. Yeah, I think it was spring practice.
You're kicking people out of spring practice.
Yeah. Hey, it's. I don't know if it was spring practice or the first. I think one of the stories was spring practice. I think a couple others were fall camp. Okay. So right before, maybe a week before the first game type deal. And if I remember right, it may have been Memphis. Okay. Now Memphis was a rival. Okay. Now when you're at Arkansas State, you better beat Memphis. So it was kind of one of those deals. So I think if we went back, in all fairness, I think it would probably be that week.
So you're at UCF now. Who's the big rival here with UCF?
Yeah. We've South Florida is a big one. That's the last game of the year. And of course, we're trying to play some in-state schools right now, so hopefully eventually that'll be one.
You've got to play with some great guys on the golf course your time. Who are some of those guys that you've had?
Tom Kite, Hale Irwin. I mean, those guys were just super gentlemen, but they were they were really patient, okay? And then, of course, John Daly, that was probably my favorite. I mean, just to go out there and watch him hit it. And, in those region pro-ams, every year they'd put you with someone different. And Scott McCarron I think he just come off winning a huge tournament before I got a chance to play with him. But all those guys were super. They were very patient. They tried to help you with your swing, but those guys were a lot of fun. Then Duffner, Duffner's my guy, and he's a big football fan. He'd travel with us when we'd go to, some of the games, and he's a heck of a golfer too. But it was kind of a different feel when me and him were out there. It's a different feel. He's a friend of mine,
right?
And but he can flat out play.
Being self-taught, did you ever ask them for some little tips or, hey, what am I doing here?
I'm way down. I'm 55, so I don't know. I probably should ask those questions when I was 35, but it's more when we're out there, just fellowship and fun.
You don't cuss. When you hit a bad shot, what do you say? I mean, I hear some people, they'll dog cuss themselves or the ball or something, but you don't.
The thing about golf, okay, even if you don't cuss, it challenges you. I mean, if there was ever a sport that would challenge people that don't cuss, it's golf. I think it's, you just don't let things come out of your mouth, and then in the heat of the battle, whether it's fourth quarter of a game or hitting a bad shot when you're playing a good round, you just kind of program yourself. But there is some real negative thoughts that will go through my mind after a bad shot golf.
And what do you say?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Different things, crud, stuff like that. I don't know.
Crap.
Yeah, I'll talk bad about myself. Like, man, you're stupid. Something like that. I'll badmouth myself, and I deserve it most of the time.
Let's go to your first time of playing in the Regions tradition.
Yeah.
You're staying in Birmingham the night before the tournament. You wake up, you go down to the car, and you've got Harley Davidsons all around you.
Yeah, I had 12 of them. And 12 of them, we got in the police car.
These are motorcycles.
These are motorcycles. And so we get in the police car, and there's 12 motorcycles, and it was probably a 20-minute drive from where I was staying. Pulled up to the front, and, you feel pretty important when you get out. Christy found out about it. She said, we're not doing that no more. And so that was the last. I think the other coach in the state of Alabama still does that. But from then on, we just kind of had the state trooper just dropped us off casually.
So you liked it. She didn't?
I don't know. It was pretty cool, I guess, a little bit. And it was kind of embarrassing when you pull up and, there's 12 police officers, and they probably need to be helping someone else instead of the coach going to the region. So it was kind of that conflict in your mind,
Yeah, I can understand that. You're at a place now where Orlando is huge. I mean, you can go a lot of places and not be recognized, unlike Springdale, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Auburn, Alabama.
Right. Yeah, and that's been refreshing too. There's over 2 million people here in Orlando, and it's been, probably the first week or two I took the job, our heads are on a swivel every time we go out. But, man, it's just like it's been real refreshing and, something a little different, but I'm getting used to it.
The SEC spring meetings in Destin, the head coaches go down there, and that's where a lot of the talk gets done.
Yeah.
It's usually right after Memorial Day, or it is right after Memorial Day it starts, and Some of the football coaches like to get in there a little early and play some golf, and you had a great group back in your days there. Coach Steve Spurrier, Hugh Freeze, yourself, and sometimes Mark Stoops would even join you.
Yeah, Spurrier had been doing that for a long time. He had his own little group, and so when me and Hugh came in the league, he knew we both liked to play golf, and so he invited us. Of course, that was pretty cool. When Coach Steve Spurrier invites you to play golf, now you need to go. So we just started making that a routine. We'd play real early before our first day, and he'd always have a game now. He's competitive now, and he was really good. And, of course, Hugh Freeze is one of my good friends, and he can flat out play. I mean, he is probably the only, well, besides Coach Spurrier, that can play a whole lot of golf and still be a really good football coach. Okay, I don't know how they do that. I can't do that, but that was some really good times. With the coaches when we were at that event.
I was going to say, I wonder how the fan base would like it if you've got a really good golfer that coaches football, or do you want a really good football coach that also plays golf?
Well, Coach Spurrier and Hugh, they can do both, and like I said, they're the only two I know could do that. I've got to stick with the football part, So I'm going to play here. I guess I'm going to play today, all right, and I'll put my clubs up until after signing day in February. Okay, I doubt Hugh Freeze is going to do that. So
you don't think he will?
I don't think he's going to put them up. I think he'll find a way to get out, but he still wins.
Hugh Freeze, is he the best head coach that's a golfer in college football?
He's one of them. He's got to be on that list. I mean, there's some other good golfers, but he's right in that list. And now, if you say best golfer / best coach, he may be the guy. Okay, he's a real football coach. I mean, you look at what he's done. He's won everywhere he's been, and he had Ole Miss rolling. Now he's got Liberty rolling. They're in the top 25. I think they'll be better this year than they were last year. So, but yeah, if you put best coach / golfer, it's probably him.
Was there any trash talk when you and Spurrier and Freeze were playing? What was that like?
Yeah, there's for the first time you play with Coach Spurrier, I mean, you're nervous. I mean, golly, but he has a way of kind of making things fun and loose, but he is a great competitor. The third time we played, we started talking just a little bit, and of course, football coaches, that's just part of it. So it was a lot of fun.
What would he say?
He would, if you hit a bad shot, now he ain't scared to tell you now. And if he hits a good one, he'll tell you too. So it was just that, that back and forth kind of competitiveness, sportsmanship type deal football coaches can do.
Because I remember, his comments about what does FSU stand for, Free Shoes University, and, you can't spell citrus without UT.
Yeah, he's quick too now. I mean, he's really quick, and he's he's one of these guys that's really one of my mentors that I look up to. That if I got a challenging situation, I'll give him a call, and he's always been so good to me to, give me his wisdom.
He's right up the road.
He's right up the road now, yeah, and he told me he's going to come down and see me. He hadn't done it yet, but we've seen each other at a couple, events, and he was out there at the Pebble Beach event.
Maybe you need to get a game set up for late February with him.
Yeah, we'll probably do that.
Your staff down here, any of them play golf?
No, not very. No, I've got one that's probably shooting 95. That's good, but so that's a good thing. They're working. Okay, they're not playing golf. They're not getting distracted with golf. No, we don't have very many guys. Really, even my off the field guys don't play a lot of golf.
Yeah, you've got a great one in SJ Toohey.
Yeah, but he's not a great golfer. Okay, he's matter of fact, I can beat him right now. So he is the guy that will go out and play a round or two, and he's going to shoot probably 90. So
when you play, do you play for anything?
Maybe lunch. Something like that. $5, like me and you play for $5. And, of course, we're playing later today. I'm planning on beating you. I just want to say that ahead of time.
I can cut that out of here if I want to. Yeah. Probably won't. Oh, speaking of the $5, you bring that up, and I have a little something here in my bag that I want to bring out and give to you. Yeah. And I believe this is from, the Raven Golf Club at Sandestin. There's a scorecard. What does that say?
Golly, yeah. 71, and you did shoot 71 that day. You chipped in first hole, something like that. I shot 83. I mean, that's solid, but that 71, you got me by 12 strokes. That's not good.
And you wanted to play straight up.
Yeah, oh yeah, straight up. The problem was I never even got close enough to put a little pressure on you because I really wanted to see how you responded to pressure. So hopefully today, that'll change.
Can I get an autograph on that $5 bill?
Yeah, you can. I'll do that.
See, I couldn't do that at SEC Media Days. I'd get kicked out.
Really?
Because you can't ask for autographs there.
Oh, great. I didn't realize that.
Boy, COVID has been bad, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Last year was just an unbelievable challenge with everything that you had to do just to get to the game, and that was very unique. So we're really hoping this year it's a little more, under control.
Interlochen Country Club.
Yep.
You're a member of it down here in Orlando, and it's a nice course, man. Tough course.
It's really nice, and it's really tough. I think it's a course that you've got to play quite a bit before, or at least for me, I'm going to need to play it quite a few more times before I get comfortable. There's water on every hole. The greens are elevated, but it's really nice.
Down here in Orlando, there are several good golf courses that you could easily find time. And like you said, you put the golf clubs up, you bring them out after signing day in February, and the weather's perfect down here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So right after signing day, that's when I'll bring them back out. And, I was hired February 15th. It was 82 degrees. So, yeah, I'm planning on playing a lot of golf in February and March and in April next year.
You know what the temperature was in Little Rock, Arkansas about February 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th?
What was it?
Well, it got down to 1 degree.
There wasn't a lot of golf being played then, huh?
Coach, I think there were like 22 inches of snow on the ground.
Wow, man.
And you're down here in sunny Florida. So, yeah not a lot of golf being played up there, but down here you can play year-round.
Yeah, that's exciting for me.
Give me a golf course that you haven't played that you want to.
I don't know. I nothing comes to mind at this point. I mean,
you've walked the old course, but you haven't played it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking in the States. No, the old course would be number one. I do want to go over there and play it. I think, what do they have the Open next year there? I want to go watch it too. Again, maybe I'll make it to Sunday this time. But yeah, the old course would be one. Yeah, that's really about it.
That's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, for me. I mean, Pebble Beach was always something that, man, I just finally got a chance to play it. It was everything I thought it'd be. But yeah, if I could play the old course, I think I would feel good about everything.
What else is on your bucket list? Do you have a bucket list?
No, not so much. Playing Augusta was one. I mean, I never thought I'd do that. So.
And you've done it 8 times.
Yeah. And then I got a chance to go to, I should have said this earlier, but I got a chance to go watch some Sunday rounds at Augusta, with Tiger right in the middle of it. And it was everything as good as you think it would be, with that. But, bucket list, maybe the Army-Navy game. I mean, I'd like to go to the Army-Navy game one time to experience the pageantry and everything that goes with it.
When you're done and everything, you're going to be at peace if UCF can accomplish what?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, our goal right now is to win a championship. I mean, right now we're with the dynamics of college football kind of changing, but I think we're in a good spot. And if the dominoes fall like I think they're going to fall, I think we're going to have a real chance to do that. And I would be at peace if we could win a championship here.
I like to ask everybody before we're done, what's in the bag? So what's in your golf bag? What clubs you playing?
What do I got? Titleist. Honestly, I played with just about every brand. I'm not like a big brand guy. As long as it's got a good feel and I get used to something, that's important.
When you turn on the TV, who is must watch when you're watching golf? Who will, besides Tiger?
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's a tough one for me. Because if Tiger's on and it's a Sunday and he's in the middle of it in the Sunday, I'm going to figure out a way to watch it. Okay, I don't care what's going on.
You'll quit watching film to watch Tiger.
I will. Like, I'll put on my phone or something, and I'll do both. Okay, if it's late in the back nine Sunday, yeah. I like Dustin Johnson a lot. Koepka, I like him. He's a real player. So yeah, those are the guys that I usually root for. And Duffner, okay, if my man Duff is in the middle of anything, I'm gonna watch him too.
Yeah, you were telling me a funny story at dinner last night about Duffner and how he would, when he's walking around St. Andrews, all the kids are chasing him and everything, trying to get his autograph, and he's got a hoodie up. He's trying to, but he's got that walk that is so recognizable.
Yeah, of course, I knew, in the United States, he's a big star too. But, overseas, I didn't have a clue. He's probably a bigger star when we were at St. Andrews than he is here. Yeah, we were. You walk just about everywhere when you're at St. Andrews, and so we were walking to eat, and some of the little kids kind of saw who he was. And you're exactly right. He's got that walk, and I'm talking about there was hundreds of them. And reality hit me like, hey, that dude's a pretty important guy now.
It's kind of like you if you were walking around Auburn, Alabama, and someone saw you.
Well, if it may be after you beat Alabama. But, it just depends. That goes week to week.
All right, last question. Have you and Christy found a Waffle House here in Orlando where you're going to go after games?
There's one, I think, that's about about a mile around the corner. And we've kind of got it circled. We've not visited there, but that's the one we got circled.
Coach, good luck.
All right. Thanks for having me.
One of our great sponsors here on From the Short Grass is Blackman Auctions. BlackmanAuctions.com. Now, don't forget, August the 25th at 8 a.m., they have their August Arkansas Contractors Auction, 425 Blackman Road in Lone Oak, Arkansas. Go to BlackmanAuctions.com. You can find more information on the website there. Blackman Auctions. Since 1938, better auctions have always been Blackman Auctions.
Minnows Plus is your local source for live bait and live well supplies. They carry the entire line of SureLife products, everything from better bait and finer shiner to no ammonia products to keep your bait and your catch thriving till you get back to the dock. They are the best source for all your private land ponds. Minnows Plus has fish food and pond fertilizer to keep your pond healthy and thriving all year long. If you own or run a bait and tackle shop and need to resupply, contact Minnows Plus and ask about their wholesale prices. Open to the public and walk-ins are welcome. Find them on the web at minnowsplus.com.
This is Thomas Blackman with Blackman Auctions. Me sponsoring a golf show is great irony. I've been a phenomenally bad golfer for 30 years. I don't know the difference between a penalty area and a bunker. I like it, but I'm really bad. You listen to this show and to Trey because he's a great golfer and knows the game backwards and forwards. I know auctions like Trey knows golf. I've been a professional auctioneer for 30 years. I know auctions. Trey knows golf. Listen to the correct expert. Call me to learn about auctions, not Trey. Since 1938, better auctions are Blackman Auctions.
On the tee with our weekly rules segment, here's PGA Master Professional Adam Carney.
Adam, bunkers. We've talked about on podcasts before, you can now move loose impediments in bunkers, but I want to talk specifically, my ball's in a bunker. Unfortunately, I hit a bad shot to wind up in a bunker. Now, I have to go in there and hit it out of there. Mm-hmm. But let's say I've got to walk maybe 30 yards from the edge of the bunker to get to it. It's a big bunker.
Right.
But I want to care for the course, so I can now take the rake and drag it behind to clean my footprints because I might be going out of the bunker at a different side.
Right.
In the past, you couldn't do that.
And that's been a while ago. That's not part of the reorganization of the rules. But there've been, for lack of a better term, a lot of old wives' tales about bunkers and what you could and couldn't do in bunkers. We talk about raking the bunker as a courtesy of keeping the clean golf course tidy. We talk about, okay, I'm going to enter the bunker here, but I'm going to exit over there. I can rake my way to the ball, which is okay. It's changed solely because we want to make sure the course is tidy, and we want it in good condition for the players playing behind us. So. Yeah, that's one thing that we did allow prior to the reorganization. That was a change that was made. Previously, that would have been considered, quote unquote, testing the surface of the bunker. Mm-hmm. As long as nothing is done in the process of gaining information, and testing the surface of the bunker, and I think we can argue that until the day's over on whether or not somebody's gleaming some type of information when they do that. I think the overall decision to say, hey, look, again, pace of play,
But I think, too, Adam, most times when you walk into a bunker, you can kind of tell how the surface of it is.
Well, yeah, because you're allowed to fairly take a stance, right, which is something that also gets deliberated a lot. I'm allowed to fairly take a stance. I can move my feet back and forth and kind of dig into the bunker. And, I'm going to glean some of that information from that as well. A lot of – we still can't sole the golf club in the bunker. So if I've taken my stance in the bunker and I'm, getting ready to hit the shot and I put the wedge down on the sand, I've got a problem. Mm-hmm. Because in all likelihood, if I haven't tested the surface of the bunker, I've probably improved my lie.
Right.
And so we had a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't take the rake in the bunker with you. You can't take, I don't know which club I want to hit. Do I want to hit the 59 degree?
You could take all 14 clubs into the bunker with you if you wanted to.
If you're walking and have a carry bag, you can set your carry bag down in the bunker without question, and you always have been able to do that. There are a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't do that." And, that's, I hate to say it, that's a junior golf parent. I'm going to call you on this thing. It's not a penalty as long as nothing's being done to test the surface of the bunker. But the other thing we have is building a stance in a bunker, and the one that pops to mind was Calvin Peete back in the 80s. Calvin Peete, and they showed this video. I don't know how many millions of times I've seen it. His ball's kind of up on the lip of the bunker, and he basically built 2 steps with his feet so he could get a stable position. And in so doing, he built a stance in the bunker. He did not have to deal at that point with the natural slope that his ball was on. And so we still can't build a stance in a bunker, but we are allowed to fairly take a stance in the bunker. Bunkers themselves, really, it hasn't changed a whole lot other than, removing loose impediments. We do have a scenario now for taking relief from an unplayable ball in a bunker. Mm-hmm. We always had the option of 2 club lengths from where the ball lay, or keeping the point where the ball lay between you and the hole and dropping the ball in the bunker under penalty of 1 stroke. But with the reorganization, we now have extending beyond and going outside of the bunker and dropping it outside the bunker. However, you're going to incur a 2-stroke penalty instead of the 1-stroke penalty for doing that. So, I think maybe that was done to soften it for recreational golf. People that just say, "Hey,
I'm not going in there.
I'm not hitting that shot.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it out of this bunker in any way, shape, or form."
But I've got a $5 bet on the hole that I can't just give up.
Yeah. So I got one. I got 1 bullet left in the gun, and I'm going to take the 2-stroke penalty and try and chip it in off this lush fairway here. Now
I'm taking the club back, and I accidentally clip the sand.
Yeah.
I don't know that I did it, but what if
That's a tough one, isn't it? It's we've seen it recently. I think I saw one happen. I can't remember who it was, but the most notable is Patrick Reed. I know Patrick Reed gets a lot of heat for things. I personally would give him a pass on that one. I don't think he knowingly did that. If you have a very, distinguished clump of sand behind your golf ball, you're going to take extra precaution to make sure that you don't swipe that sand out of the way on your downswing, or on your backswing, excuse me. But there are times where things happen where the slightest bit of sand is moved when that happens, and I don't think the player does it intentionally. But you go back to playing the golf ball as it lies, and when that sand is gone, that sand is no longer going to interfere with the downswing, which could improve the result of your shot. So it's a delicate balance. It's just one of those things that's still out there. It's still a rule. Probably is a good rule, because I think if we change it, we open Pandora's box and say, hey, we can do all kinds of things that kind of ruin the spirit of the game.
He's Adam Carney. If you've got a question on the rules of golf, email us fromtheshortgrass@gmail.com.
That'll do it for this edition of From the Short Grass. I leave you with this quote from Ben Hogan. "This is a game of misses. The guy who misses the best is going to win." Remember to always repair your ball mark on the green, and a couple of more, and I hope to see you from the Short Grass.
You've been listening to From the Short Grass, a weekly podcast dedicated to the game of golf. From the Short Grass is brought to you by minnowsplus.com, and Blackman Auctions. This has been a presentation of the Buzz Radio Network.